Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rukah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the sincere I came to push this truth with no due diligence and sincerity. Man, Esau Edom used the media to manipulate the emotions of the people. In Manchester, you had a situation where it could have been Jake, but let's call them so-called Asians. Two of them had their heads kicked in by special force police units. Allegedly, they were fighting with the police and damaged the feds, and then that's why the police decided that they were gonna go all out on them. But when I saw this, and then the reaction, and then the fact that Esau also sparked out riots across different regions of the UK, there were some issues in Leeds. There were riots across different diasporas in the UK. It just got me thinking, man. The love of many shall wax cold for true. We are in some dark times, man. And it's only evil promised onto the earth at this point. That's a fact. You go into the book of, where we at? Ezekiel, the 7th chapter and the 5th verse, and it says, let me start from 2. Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Jehovah unto the land of Israel. Yeah, so this is the intention of the Lord. This is his words. The end is come upon the four corners of the land. And ultimately, 2/3 of Israel are going to die in the midst of this melee also. Of course, there's going to be casualties all over. But 2/3 are going to be left behind to ultimately, man, catch the missiles. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. So Jacob are going to be made to pay. They're going to get caught up in these class riots, race riots, fights against the police in general. And my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. That thou saith the Lord Yahweh, and evil, and only evil is come. Only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Bad times, man. Woe and destruction. That's what the Heavenly Father is bringing. And you're going to see that amongst our people a lot more. You're going to see the nations also catching wreck domestically, not just overseas, but here in the UK. Things are going to switch up. Esau Edom is going to just go full on draconian mode in the time of Jacob's trouble, and we're right around the corner from it. New footage shows moments before man kicked in head by police officer at Manchester Airport. The Greater Manchester Police Constable has been told he is under criminal investigation for assault. New footage has emerged showing the alleged assault of 3 police officers at Manchester Airport before a man was kicked in the head. The video obtained by the Manchester Evening News shows the chaotic scenes which led to an officer kicking and stamping on the head of a man who was lying face down on the floor. A Greater Manchester police officer was suspended on Thursday after the footage shared widely on social media, leading to protests in Rochdale and Manchester city centre. The Independent, so basically, long story short, these, I think they were Arabs or, I think they were Ishmael. They got into a scuffle with this police officer and his colleagues, and apparently the woman was getting manhandled, of course, because she's a woman and she's out there in the field. But anyway, she was getting manhandled, and so long story short, he intervened, saved her, but she was injured, and as a result of that emotional feeling from his colleague being attacked, he stomped on the guy's head. But then they released the CCTV from the moment he stamped on his head to invoke rage and anger. A Greater Manchester police officer was suspended. Yeah, read that. The Independent Office for Police Conduct said on Friday that the officer had been advised he was under criminal investigation for assault. A decision will then be made on whether to refer the matter to the Crown Prosecution Service and whether the officer involved should face disciplinary proceedings. So you can imagine the police are also pissed because they're looking at this like, raw, like we're getting persecuted by our own lot, and when shit happens, no one's got us. So why are we even putting ourselves on the line? Whereas like the people are looking at it like, hey, you people, police have been oppressors for ages. Well, guess what that does? It builds up a pressure pot, and before you know it, man, things bubble over real quick. You see, this is all leading up to the time of Jacob's trouble, where ultimately they're gonna look at black, brown, whatever you claim yourself to be, as the same thing. They're gonna look at you like as a persona non grata, like a heathen, like from like a, you know, one of the goyim, basically. They're going to look at you as not one of theirs. And they're going to, these police officers and these Edomites in general are going to be down to do whatever it takes to take you out, man. Especially you, Jake, man. The time is coming where ultimately the Lord is going to let the floodgates of judgment open. Amos the 5th chapter, verse 18. Woe, meaning destruction, unto you that desire the day of the Lord. So what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. You see, when the Lord comes, the time of Jacob's trouble is going to be serious. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. That it doesn't necessarily mean things will occur in that particular order. You might run from some Jakes stabbing each other and robbing people for food, and then you might run into some stormtroopers that are shooting people down because they're out late past the curfew. You might escape that and then run into a pack of wild dogs ready to tear. You know, like basic, and the hell will be specialized specifically to you. But ultimately, man, judgment is coming, man, and the Lord is going to bring it. Shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Meaning that ultimately, hey, there's not going to be a spot of hope, man, for the wicked, man. There ain't going to be no way to get out other than Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. And the Lord is fanning the flames, you know. You got to be vigilant. One of the brothers in the London camp at work just saw yesterday some Jakes outside of his workplace stabbing each other to death, man. You know, a couple of them escaped. The police came. One of the guys had been stabbed so hard that the handle of the blade, yeah, was flung like in front of the brother's workplace, like a couple meters away from where he was stabbed. Like you could see the clothes he left behind, that the bloody clothes he left behind, and some of the blood marks, and then you see where the handle was flung here, a good couple meters away, because he was stabbed so hard. I don't know how the guy was holding the knife, but he stabbed him so hard that the handle broke off and flew off, or he might have thrown it away. But either way, that shows you the level of hate that these people have for each other, man. You know, here in this situation, like, the police also they've got heightened tensions with the local community. I've been saying for the longest, England don't want to riot, but and I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not like, they don't want them to use that against me, but I'm just saying, like, these British people are just lapping it up. But recently, man, the media's been feeding into it. People have been starting to riot in pockets. Before you know it, it could be another, I believe, 2008, or around about that time, like when the Mark Duggan situation happened, another situation just like that, man. Because people are at their wits' end, man. The cost of living's biting. You know, police are doing what they're doing. Esau's doing what he's doing. A lot's going on. It says here in the last paragraph of this article, all suffered head injuries, including a female constable who suffered a broken nose. So allegedly, yeah, one of the guys they were wrestling with broke the woman's nose and injured her, and the male officer got so upset he chased him down. When they arrested the guy and he was on the floor, they were talking back and forth. Obviously you can't hear what they said. He kicked him in the head and stomped on him out of frustration, and 4 men were arrested who have since been released on bail. Hey, man, I'm telling you though, those police officers, yeah, are vexed. The family of the man who was kicked in the head have appealed for calm and urged people not to take part in any further protest, their MP said on Saturday, and it goes on. But, you know, people are upset, man. People are very upset, and ultimately, you know, they're rioting in groups now because they've seen an individual get mistreated by the police, and they're looking at it like, that could have been me, you know, like that could have been my son or my daughter, etc. But then ultimately, it's going to get to a point where the situations are going to continue to get more dire. The cost of living is going to increasingly become an issue, and people are eventually just going to get to a breaking point where it's like, fuck it, man, I'm in survival mode for myself. And that's in Matthew the 24th chapter, and I'll start from verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Maybe these people are hateful all day. You can see it, man. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. These so-called Christian leaders, these charlatans amongst the house of Israel, like Nate, and so on and so forth. Anyway, many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, basically wickedness shall just be the norm, the love of many shall wax cold. And because iniquity shall abound, evil will be the norm. The love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So because evil is just going to be the normality out here, yeah, people are going to be, man, the love of many people are just going to literally be naturally cold-hearted, man. And it's going to go from being what it currently is to sort of the community versus the police and us versus them and all of that, to when like to people just literally doing whatever they need to do to survive. When the chips are down, like Heath Ledger when he played Joker said in Batman, these civilized people, they'll eat each other, and it's a fact. Man, London, yes, these people are entitled, man. They don't know what it's like to go hungry. They don't know what it's like to suffer real persecution. Like they don't know what hell is like, man. Like like what those people are experiencing in Gaza, real hell right there, fam. Listen, 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, dark, dangerous times, man. And that's why we got to move vigilant. We got to know, you know, when to flee situations, when to get out of places, because shit's gonna get real. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. I mean, come on, this is the common person in the West, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, thinking of themselves more than they ought to, more highly than they ought to, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. I mean, come on, man. Like, it just don't make you think of the average citizen out here in the UK. I don't know what will. You see, but it's situations like this, I'm telling you, man. But listen, people are not going to forget this, man. And they're going to continue to remember, like, when the police do their next fuckery, or the next mistake happens, or another crime is not properly investigated. People are ready to let loose. They are ready to let loose, man. Real ready to. And, yo, you gotta understand that the times we're living in. This is Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, all over, man. Man shall desire to go into a city, shall not be able to. All of that, man. But Second Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, meaning destruction, woe. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, evil times basically. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, the brother saw it, man. One of the brothers in the camp saw a group of Jakes, like some yardies, and they were all Jakes, but they were rival gangs, or like the two Jakes that attacked. The two Jakes that got attacked were probably, either the ops, or they got themselves in some sort of trouble. But you're gonna see that on various levels. You're gonna see gang warfare. You're gonna see some racial wars. You're gonna see some socio-economic ones. You're gonna see the police versus the people. It might be another Broadwater Farm situation where they did the ultimate. They executed the ultimate judgment and wickedness upon a police officer. But you might see those types of situations. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, weapons, man. For there shall be sedition among men, ill feeling amongst men, and invading one another, running into each other's houses. That's already a common thing here in the UK, and I'm sure in the States as well, and across the globe where brothers are at, man. House robberies, stealing, man. Thieves breaking through and stealing cars. One of my colleagues had his Range Rover stolen. He's a demon anyway, so it is what it is. But for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, They shall not regard their kings nor princes, meaning that they're not going to care for the prime minister or the previous leaders or the previous presidents or the king, the queen. They're just going to be out there doing what they need to do to survive, man. It says it. I'll read it again. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. The celebrities are not going to matter. Like 50 Cent, Vybz Kartel at the end of the day is going to be a target. Individuals like that with money, man, they're going to go out to kill these individuals. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions, what they want to do, shall stand in their power. Meaning that they're going to have the power to do what the wickedness that they want. And man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Woo-hoo! Evil times coming, man. It's going to shake these people up. I can't wait to see them in fear and dismay. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And whether that be the gun, the literal sword, knife, whatever. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Judgment is on its way still. Listen, and the Lord is bringing it. These women are going to get caught up in it. These women with multiple children, with no husband, and thinking that they can just live on the state forever and just splurge. Isaiah 32 and 2, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind and the tempest, the judgment, and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. In a hot land, and you get a rock to hide behind where there's no water, but the sun's been beating on your back, and you just get that moment of cool and relaxation. That's what a man of the Lord, I should say, a man of Yahweh is going to be like for these women on that day. But a lot of these women are going to be getting killed, man. These sluts, these fucking whores, they're going to be getting taken out. Judgment is on its way in a major way, man. The elderly going to be getting run through unless they're saved or unless they're reserved for salvation by Yahweh the young. Ezekiel the 9th chapter tells you, man, both old and young, maids and little children and women, man. It gives you maids and then it gives you women, variants of them. Women are going to get judged heavy, man, in this time to come. Like that female police officer with that broken nose is probably thinking, why the hell did I join the force? All sorts of judgment is on its way, man, in various forms, and we're going to live to see it, man. We be delivered through it, Lord willing. But hey, man, dark times are on their way. Real dark times, man. Hey, man, that's why through the fear of the Most High, how we persuade men, because we're not trying to get caught up in that melee. Anyway, hey, man, watch this space. More tension, more judgment on its way, without a shadow of a doubt, here in the UK, especially over there in the States. Shit's about to get shaken up, man. Shalom.